I'm Dr. Lori. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at the Penn Hills Goodwill store. Come thrift with me. That piece is a nice piece. That piece has nice color. It has some embossing, right? So you've got some texture to this. And it probably came in a pair, and the other one is in here. This is Redware. If you look inside, you can see the ridges I always talk about. The ridges inside are pretty nice. You know, the ridges, which mean that they're hand-built, it's hand-built, and the coloration is a nice piece. They want $4.99, and I think it's worth $15. I know it isn't, as a matter of fact. Here's some older pieces. Here's an older piece right down here, transferware as well, with the grapes. And usually there's a grape bowl, and usually there's other bowls of different fruits, but this is transferware. You see the scratches in the transfer? There's the scratches in the transfer. Where if the transfer is perfect, you won't see any scratches. So here's a perfect transfer piece, no scratches. And look at that, this transfer piece where you can actually see where the transfer was lifted. So when the transfer was lifted, this was done shortly after it was actually, right here where the transfer was lifted, you could see that they didn't get all of the color to apply down to the ceramic. So if you're looking for the better transfer, you want to take this one that doesn't have any scratches or inclusions. If you're looking for the older piece, you want to take this one. So let's talk about value. So this one is $3.29, and it's one of a bajillion. So the $3.29 price, you're probably not going to reap your benefit, your money back if you buy this. You're probably going to end up only getting maybe $5 for it. So I don't think you'll double your money on that. I would leave that here. This particular piece, they want the same $3.29 for it. Even though this one has a transfer skip, is what it was called, the transfer skip, I would still take this piece. Yes, it's older and it has more of a market. Value on this piece is about $20 for $3.29. So that's a good bargain. Again, I leave all these here for you. I don't buy any of these pieces. I want you to be able to get those bargains. This piece is trying to look like Lladró. How do I know just looking at it? First of all, it's not porcelain. Lladró makes porcelains. Also, not enough of the colors of Lladró. Beige, pink, light blue is typical for Lladró. This piece doesn't have all of those three types of color. It only has the beige on it. If you look at the bottom, you can see that this is $5.99. And if you take off the label carefully, you can see there's no mark. Lladró always has a mark. It says Lladró, it says Spain. It's always right there. So put that one back and pass by both of those. This piece looked like it's made in Italy, but this particular piece is not made in Italy. This piece is made in China, trying to look like Italian majolica pieces. The glaze is very, very decorative, but this piece, very shiny, right? But this piece is not. That piece is, of course, unmarked, and it looks like it's Italian, but it's molded, made in China. This piece is probably from the 1990s. The ones that are worth money are usually from about the 1960s. My mother had one from the 60s in her house because all the Italian ladies has one from the 60s in her house. So there's that. And then, there's something. Then there's this. Should remind you of Blue Ridge. You should see it. You should go Blue Ridge immediately. Some of the platters of Blue Ridge, while they're hand painted, the younger ones have this band of green, sometimes of yellow, around it. My Aunt Dorothy's plates, I usually talk about those, and they have little tulips, and that's Blue Ridge. No mark on this piece of Blue Ridge, but it's Blue Ridge. It went with a larger set. So there are knockoffs, but this one isn't one. So what do they want? They only want 99 cents for this one. See, this is where the pricing is a little bit different. So people are going, oh, the prices are so high at Goodwill. They're so high, they're so high. They're not so high, because for this piece, it's not high at all. Yes, for this other piece, it's high. But for this piece, it's not so high. Value on this piece is probably about $35. But I'm going to put it back, because I leave everything here for you, because while other people on other channels are buying these pieces at a low price, like 99 cents, and then trying to sell it back to you, I don't do that. So that's what we're looking at here. Let's see what else we can find. So here's another piece. Here's this little pretty little basket. First of all, if you look at the color of this basket, that color is a little too gray, so the grayness is going to be problematic. Most people would say, oh, it looks like Lenox. Here's why it's not Lenox. You see the transferware roses on this basket? Those transferware roses, Lenox would not do that. So you have to know about the actual manufacturer and what they would do. That particular piece is a piece that they want. Let's see, who makes it? Max at Home makes it, made in China, right there on the label. You can see that they want $4.99 for this. So this piece is not good quality, good enough quality to warrant a $4.99. So some of these are too high, okay? And it's not Lenox, so don't be fooled. What piece is really nice? This piece is really nice. All the decoration done on this side. Not as sharp as I would like, right? Not as sharp as I'd like you to feel like you're gonna cut your hand. You're gonna cut it off when you see this kind of piece. This piece is nice. For $3.29, this is a good deal. This particular piece doesn't have any inclusions, abrasions, bubbles. You don't wanna see bubbles. That's a piece of cut glass, but it's not sharply cut. Because this piece is probably worth 10 times that. It's probably worth about $32. Resin, like this piece, it's resin. I don't like resin. I think resin is not a great material. I don't think it wears well. I don't think it looks great. Some people like it, and it's cheap. It's like you took a candle and you started to carve it. It's easy to carve. Usually resin is used before you actually make a piece into a molted metal. So they use resin, and then the lost wax is gone. Oh, Holly Hobby. Right? Holly Hobby, 1970s. Popular, coming back strong. So you see Holly Hobby, you might want to pick it up. Because a lot of people are collecting them. Those people who were, of course, born in the 70s are now coming of age. They want to collect those things that they had as children. $3.29. That's a little high for Holly Hobby, because you're probably not going to get more than $7 for it. So I'd probably leave Holly Hobby here. I would not leave this here. This, of course, is Precious Moments. Precious Moments, the matte glazed, right? Whereas Holly Hobby, of course, is shiny glazed, right? So this is matte. Right? You don't see any glaze, any shiny, and then the Holly Hobby, just by comparison, is of course shiny. I always tell you when it comes to figurines, more figures on the same base or within the same piece is going to be worth more money. This piece has a $5.99 sticker on it, and then here, this piece, you turn that little guy and the music box works. And the music boxes are relatively rare and collectible. People go, oh, no one wants Precious Moments. Oh, that's too much. You should see the collectors who are spending a lot on Precious Moments. So for $5.99, you could easily get $95 for this Precious Moments. Now you're going, where am I going to do that? I'm looking up eBay and I can't find it on eBay. Because eBay is not the only place that people are buying stuff, okay? You're using a very low level when you use comparisons, price comparisons, values from eBay, or a lot of these different online platforms. You basically are using a very low common denominator when it comes to the value. You've got to look in all the places. You've got to find the people who are looking for this particular object with the music box, who are collectors who are saying, I don't have that one, I want that one, I'm willing to pay for that one. And that's by reviewing the entire market. This is why, you know, when you see folks on channels going, oh, look, this is selling for this on eBay. Well, yeah, it might be selling for one number and another number and a different number by somebody else on all of these different platforms. So you have to understand how the market actually works. That's a buy, a big buy. And I'm leaving it here for you. So you can buy it here at $5.99 at Goodwill, and you could resell it. So, as I said, I'm passing by even tall resin. I don't like resin. It doesn't deteriorate well. It gets all dusty and moldy. You could be the cleanest person on earth, and resin is still going to be dirty in your house. A glazed piece of pottery like that would catch my eye. Okay, so fire glazed. You can still see the clay. Some age to it. So when I say that, it's probably from at least the 1920s. The 20s, yeah. This was fired, a ceramic piece fired some time ago. I do think it's probably amateur. You know, it's kind of a little off, but I do think it's amateur. But I do think it's old. So I don't know how much they want for this, because these are not marked. This one is hand built. This one is not as old. This one's newer. Elephants, remember, if you have an elephant, my mom used to collect them. Elephants, the trunk has to be up for good luck. And this is a kind of an interesting little guy. Frosted. When you see frosted, I want you to think about the 1970s, because that was very popular in the 1970s. Have you been watching my videos on how to identify valuable purses? You can even use the search feature right here on the channel. Just search for it, as I'm going to search. Grommets. I'm not crazy about grommets on anything. I don't like grommets. I don't know why I don't. I just don't. This is made in Taiwan, I would think. Yeah, made in Taiwan. So, no cape handle. Look back at the 70s, but it's made recently. The Expressions purse I like, but the inside's kind of dirty. How much do they want for that? $8.99 to clean that out. It's a lot of leather, so I like that piece. For $8.99, you probably could get 20. Made to look like Brahmin, but not. And hey, what's that? Okay, silk. There you go. There's your silk scarf. I don't know if there's a label. The pattern reminds me of Hermes, but it's not Hermes. $3.29. The label says what it should say, which is, I'll get my fingers out of the way, pure silk, right? Rayon fringe. The fringe is not silk, but the rest of it is silk. A scarf by Cisco. That's a beautiful scarf. For $3.29, you can get $25 for that. Great finds. There's more to come.